Alright, hi guys, I'm back. Okay, so as you can see, I did my two accent nails. They are from the Heart, which are the American Heart Association ones. Um, the rest of my nails are going to be a dark blue color, which is Beta. I'm going to do TruShine. So this video is actually going to be on TruShine. So if you didn't see the first one, basically what we did was push the cuticles back, went ahead and scraped off any invisible cuticle, and then washed hands with Dawn. You want to get regular Dawn. What it's going to do is remove the oils from your nails and then prep them with an alcohol pad. So the alcohol pad's going to strip the rest of the oils off the nails, and that's going to make sure that you get a good seal. If you seal them well, they're waterproof and you get at least 2 weeks out of them. TruShine will help that a little bit too. What it is our at-home gel system. It's got an LED light right there. That actually replaces like a regular UV light. The cool thing with that is it's going to be a lot less harmful, so you're not going to get those old lady hands right away. So now what we're going to do is, since I'm going to do a color, we are going to do a base coat first. And I'll shake that up real quick. I am going to put it over this wrapped nail too. That's going to add me a little bit of extra strength and support during my manicure. I have an event on Monday. It's actually a Jamboree event, so I want my nails to look nice. Okay, so this is my base coat. After I'm done putting it on, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to move it because I don't want to have it in front of the light since it won't dry till it's cured, and if I have the bottle in front of the light, I'm afraid it might cure. So, first rule is very thin. So I'm actually going to pretty much wipe almost everything off of there. If you can see my brush, you really can't see anything on it. And then the most important thing is going to be to cap your nails. Let's get you in here so you can see. So I have fairly short nails right now. I bartend, so I do a number on them quite often. To cap a short nail, it's actually pretty easy. I'm going to hold the nail so that I can see that there's a gap between the tip of my nail and the actual finger. And I'm going to lay my brush flat, kind of like fan it out. And I'm going to make like a scrubbing motion. So as I do this over the edge of the nail, even though you can barely see it, a tiny bit of that gel is going on the edge of my nail. That's going to make sure everything's sealed good and that no moisture or anything can get up under there. And then I'm going to go ahead and paint the nail. So with the gel, you always want to do really thin, even coats. The main reason you want to do this is, unlike nail polish, when you cure it, it's going to cure exactly where it is. So if it's real thick, you're bound to get little pits, or the end of it is going to get almost like a thick crust on the sides, and that's going to make it come off easier. So save yourself some gel and some heartache and go real thin. So even on this one, I'm going to cap the tips. Not only do I not want any moisture to get between my layers of gel here, I also don't want it to get up into this wrap. So and then I'm just going to do my thin coat of base coat over all my nails. And I apologize, I know this is a little monotonous. Okay. Before I do cure this at the end, what I'm going to do is take my orange stick and go around the edges of my nail and underneath. That's going to make sure that I don't have any extra TruShine on my skin. For the same reason as everything else, if it's on my skin, I'm not going to have it tight sealed in my nail. Oh, that's my number one goal here, is tight sealed in the nail. So you'll see I'm going to stop after this nail. I do my 4 fingers together and then my 2 thumbs together. And that's just mostly because That's the amount of space in this light, but it's also not awkward and you're not leaning any fingers any odd directions. When you do thin coats, you help prevent it, but if your coats were too thick and your fingers are laying on their side, it's going to pull over to that side, and you don't want that to happen. All right, so now that all of them are painted, I'm going to move that out of the way to the light. I'm going to grab one of these orange sticks, and I'm going to go under this one because I know I did get a little bit underneath, and then I'm just going to look and see if I've got anything on the sides. This one's pretty good. I'm just kind of wipe it just in case. And you can see the TruShine gel is shiny. Actually, pretty even. So I'm going to grab my little light. It's automatically timed, so once I put my hand in here, don't look at it. I feel like I'm looking into the sun when I look. It's going to automatically be timed on here. So once it's done, it's actually going to shut itself off. So now you can kind of see it. I mean, it's not going to hurt through watching on the thing, but it's a bright light. Hold on. I feel like I'm pulling it. So I'm going to pull out the glow sticks. It's really cool when you do the glow-in-the-dark ones in here because as soon as you pull your fingers out, they're glowing like crazy. The light definitely activates the glow. So now once it's done, that's going to be my base coat. Next, I'm going to move on to a color. Oh, and if you see, there's no more bright lights, so we're good. So next, I'm going to move on to my color coat. This I'm probably going to need to do a couple coats of, so I might stop it after we get our first one, but let's get ahead and open that up. It's shook up a little bit. I'm going to open another alcohol prep pad. I usually we use them back to back, but since I've done this over 2 videos, my other one's a little dried out. And this will just remove any tacky residue that's left over from your base coat. I actually will do this between each layer. So for the colors, same exact thing. So I'm going to actually kind of pull it up real slow. Let's see. Let's see if you can see that bottle. So as I pull that up, you'll see it's a really pretty blue color. This one is a brand new bottle, so it's nice and saturated. I'm going to pull that up. Now I'm going to do all the nails except for the one with the accent nail on it, of course. I'm going to cap every layer. And that's going to help make sure that none of them are leaving a gap for any moisture. So as you'll note, I'm going to do a real thin coat. I go a little extra thin. I do have to say they last a long time this way though. It's definitely worth taking your time. You gotta figure when you go get them done, at least when I do, it does usually take close to an hour. When I do them myself, I can usually get away with a little bit less than that. This manicure is going to take a little while, and the only reason it's going to be a little bit longer is because I'm going to actually do some nail art here. The tips of my fingers on the blue ones are going to actually be like a white lace. And for that, I might do a video as well, but all I did was take my wrap and cut it into tips. So I'm just going to lay a partial on there and then go over it with the top and a base coat, and that will make sure that it's adhered well and doesn't move around. So go ahead and cap this one. Sometimes when your nails are short, the edges are a little tough to cap, but try your best to get in there. Just make sure that you don't leave a whole glob of the lacquer, the gel lacquer on there. Let's go as close to the edge as possible without pulling any up there. So that one's a little bit thicker than my pinky. I'm going to try to smooth it out. I'm going to actually take some off once I do this one. I could have cleaned my brush off just a tad better. When it's a new bottle, you really want to make sure you clean your brush off good because it runs down from the actual stem of it too. Let's go do this. And this part's just like painting your nails. I'm horrible at painting my nails, so I take a little extra time. The one good thing is, even though it's still a polished style manicure, there's no real dry time because once you put it in this TruShine light, it is good to go instantly. Which is great. And if you guys ever are doing this and run into any issues, just let me know. I want you guys to be successful in your J-Macures. So let's set that off. I'm going to go ahead and take my little orange stick. I do see where this nail's got a little bit going on. Ooh, well, the cool thing is since it doesn't dry until the light goes off, that's going to be a really easy fix. Voila! Well, as I was saying, is you can kind of see on some of these where I did get a little bit of TruShine on my skin. So I'm going to gently take my orange stick and just scrape it off. Okay. And if you're wondering what I'm using as a little mat here, this is just a plain piece of printer paper, but it makes a great surface. That way if I want to do this, I don't have to get a little napkin. Alright, so let's go ahead and cure that layer. We'll do one more layer of color and then probably the top coat. I might do 2 more layers. If I do, I might cut this video short because I'm sure we're getting up there. Alright, so this will go off any second. I'm going to wipe it down with my alcohol prep pad again. And then we'll do another layer of the color coat. Depending on the color you want, most of them, 1 or 2 coats is enough. Some of them you might want to do 2 or 3. This one I'm probably going to do at least 2, maybe 3, since it's a darker color. I don't know if you can see it, but since I just have 1 coat, you can kind of see a little bit of streakiness, and I don't want that to stay there. So, let's go ahead and thicken it up a little bit. You will notice some color might come off on your alcohol prep pad. That's okay. So, same thing as before. We're going to go ahead and cap. And then paint. And as you can see, since we've got a little bit of the base color on there, it comes out much darker. Alright, so this one too. Just going to cap. Go ahead and fill in the color. I don't know about you guys, but it's super late here. I was going to try to get this done earlier, but life happens. I get to work in the morning. Luckily I bartend, so it's not that bad of a job. get to deal with people who do their horse racing tomorrow. So I'm in the race room, which will be fun. Alright, so now I did see a couple spots where I kind of got some gels, so I'm going to go ahead and touch those up. I'm kind of taking my time to show you guys, but I'm trying not to take all night on this video, so I apologize if I lose you. Just comment, let me know where you're at, and I'll take a look and see if I skipped something, or if I did something I didn't tell you about. So we'll see how these look once I take the alcohol off. Or use the alcohol pad rather. It might pull a little bit of the color off, so I might do one more coat. And usually when I'm done, I do an extra cure with the light. Since the light hardens them, that will help give them a little bit more hard, shiny finish. The color that comes with the TruShine kit is like a black cherry. It's a really pretty red. I've used that one before too. Alright. So let's see. It's starting to look pretty dark. Now they're looking pretty uniform and fairly dark. I can still see one or two light spots. So I'm going to go ahead and do that last coat on there. But I can barely see anything, so this should definitely be my last one. Now, if you do coats as thin as I do, they're not going to feel as thick as some of the ones that you get in the salon, especially if you're used to getting tips on them. I like that a little bit better because they feel more natural. I don't ever feel like I don't have my nails, and that's good. Don't like to feel like I'm wearing fake nails. But on that same regard, I do like that they give me a lot of strength. My nails are usually really, really bendy. I have a vitamin D deficiency, and unfortunately, that's what it affects the most. Let's go ahead and get that done. Alright, last one. We're almost done, I promise. Got that one nice and good. And give it a good little bit. This one's the one that looks the lightest, so I'm going to make sure I get not a thick coat, but just a tiny bit more than the others. Alright. After this, all we got left is top coat. And the top coat we can just do one layer of. Now, if I do find tomorrow when I wake up, I see some that's on my hand that I didn't see before around the edges, sometimes I can take a light buffer block and kind of buff it down. And if you can get rid of it, if it's just a real thin layer that you got on there, then usually the manicure's not affected at all. And we're almost done with that part. Got my top coat right next to me. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and wipe one more time. Now on the top coat, I am going to do the one with the heart on it too. Let's see, I made fuzzies tonight. Sometimes, depending on what you're using to use your alcohol, if you're using a fuzzy pad, make sure you get your fuzzies off your nail. If you TruShine them in and they go under that light, they're going to be shellacked in there with fuzzies. why I have to make sure the cats are nowhere near me. Alright. And as you can see, I'm doing real thin coats with my top coat too. Never really go too thin. I'd rather go super thin and end up having to do an extra coat than too thick. My very first TruShine application was a little too thick, and the edges just did not look as pretty. So it might take a time or two before you're a master, but super easy. Way cheaper than paying someone 40, 50, 60 bucks to do my nails and then me still tip them. So I'd rather do this any day. Now I wanted to do the red one last so I could dip it again. Just make sure none of that blue transfers over just in case. Alright. Top coat, voila. Oh, away. And should be any second now. Alright, so now you'll see it look black. They're not really black, they're dark blue. Let's see if you can kind of see the color a little better. You can kind of see on that finger that they're a little bit more dark blue, but either way, I promise they're dark blue. And it's beta is the color, so if you did like it, you know which one it is. You can kind of see in the shiny part it shows it's blue. But I love it, nice and shiny. Oh, now you can see that glitter in that red. Alright, well, nice to chat with you guys. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my manicure. And I hope you guys have a good night. Again, it's Jillian with Jam with Jilly. And if you need anything, just contact me on Facebook or give me a call. It's 859-638-7383. Alright, bye.